Chaos reign.
Are there pros and cons when starting a celibacy journey, and does it impact overall health? Yeah, I've gone through several intentionally celibate chapters in my life, and yeah, overall health, I don't know, maybe get more sleep. But definitely like reminding yourself why you're doing it. For me, it was always either I really want to focus on like my career or what I have to accomplish in this space, and I don't want my attention to be drawn in any other directions. And it's always about realigning and breaking soul ties when I need to have that kind of space. But for me, having like, okay, I'm going to do this for 6 months, or I'm going to do this for a year. And, maybe you go longer, but if you're really wanting to be celibate for that reason, you've got to be honest with yourself and really hold yourself accountable.
The chaos reign.
When we talk about what fathers are, when we talk about what real men are, when we're talking about what those standards are, giving somebody life is the bare minimum. Raising them, being responsible, being present, teaching them how to be good people, providing emotional and mental support for your children, being a parent. That is the thing that I think a lot of people, not just fathers, because certainly there are a lot of bad mothers. I'm just speaking to the fathers because that is my experience. My mother is tremendous. My father is not. The performance art of being supportive when the child knows that this is just for keeping up appearances is so maddening. It's so for other people and not for the root of why you're supposed to be there. It's psychological warfare you're playing with your child. People ask me about having kids and why I don't want kids, and there's multiple reasons why I don't. But certainly if I ever were to have a child, I'm committing to the idea of being a parent, not to making a child so that my name can live on, so that I have a legacy. What the f is your legacy if you're not actually raising your children?
Yes. Welcome. Welcome, guys. Welcome here to a special session here on the Chaos Rain Show. I am Chaos Rain, the one only. This should be a very interesting stream. And the reason why I say very interesting is because this is the talk of the town now for a lot of things going on social media, especially throughout, certain media platforms from Facebook, IG, and we could say even Twitter or X. And really, truly, a lot of people have been chiming in on this. And I think it's only fair to give the real honest truth to those that don't want to hear it. And it's going to be very unpopular, but it has to be said. But before I begin, I'd like to welcome those that are here to witness or watch today's stream. Welcome to the Chaos Rain Show. Hope you stay and like it, and please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. As always, the links to follow me, all other social medias are in the description below. You can follow me on Twitter at Chaos Rain 7. You can add me as a friend on Facebook, Eric Ray on Facebook. You could also now follow me on Rumble, CRain23 at Rumble. Also, and I will put it in a second, but I would love all y'all that's watching this or subscribing or wherever you want to call it. I think they call it hate watching, which I don't know what that is. But if you are hate watching, you could also join my Discord service as well. And one thing what I will do with my Discord server now, moving forward, I'm gonna post the links to things that I read or things that you should look at. If you want that information, you're gonna have to join the Discord service of the Chaos Rain Show. Now, I know most people don't follow Discord or don't want to create Discord app. I understand. I feel you, but I'm telling you right now. Besides here on YouTube, and the way how they deal with links on YouTube, until otherwise, it's not really logical to post links in the chat room or any part of even description now, and I had this problem almost 2 years ago, so I cut back on it. But for the reason is, if you want the links to follow through what I read or just in general, just join Discord service. The Discord is free. I do not put no paywall for Discord, regardless how you like this content. Not if you want just general information like that, you gotta join Discord service. That's the only thing I'm gonna tell you how you're gonna follow where I got these things from. And besides, Discord has to get a decent following anyway. I mean, at times I'll put things that's relative. I don't keep active on it, but anything that's put on Discord, I will follow through and look at it. So, like I said, if you want the information, join Discord. And last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Running Show as well. Membership has perks, like many things out here, you know. And I did forget my new intro, but you know, I was in the moment when I did this. So, and one other thing I'm gonna do, let me see, hold on, let me just shorten this. 1 second, guys. Be patient, and please, guys, hit the like button. Likes are free. 1 moment. All right, so this I'm gonna put here, the links. All right, there we go. And I'm probably gonna check on my end, and it'll be pinned up as well. So let me make sure I have it pinned up as well. Where is the pin up? And I'm gonna pin it as well. Now, a lot of people said Mr. Whitlock talked about this, and I'm not sure if Mr. Jason Whitlock has his own YouTube channel. If he does, please let me know in the chat room what it's called. I'll look him up. But really, truly, I mean, really, truly, what Jason Whitlock has said about the business in anchoring and sports media is not some should be shocking. And what I mean not shocking or surprising is because that is the nature of the game that we're witnessing. For those I know. Oh, thank you, Fearless. Yes. Thank you. And let me pin this. And one thing I will do before I run back the tape that you saw earlier, and you know I'm going to run it back. Be patient. I'm going to put the invite for anyone that wants to come up and express their views and opinions of my content or just in general. And I'm going to cover some things, and I'm going to read the 42-page document, which I'm going to let artificial intelligence go through for a certain speed. So I don't read it because the document, 42 pages long, is kind of long. And that will probably, I will probably put in or bring in later into the show to speed things up a little bit. Okay. So now, here's the other video I want to play now. I paused it because it's 3 segments, and I'm going to give my take on all 3 of them. And, you know, Kevin King said about this, about, yeah. All right, let's go. Let's listen to this one. Fair use.
Chaos reign.
But I don't think that all men cheat. I have been with men who haven't cheated. I know men who do not cheat. I have friends that are in relationships that do not cheat. There is no thing you can do to keep yourself from getting cheated on. You can marry someone and they're the only person that you've ever been with, and you were a virgin when you met them, and you were loyal, still get cheated on. You can date multiple people. You could be outside. You could still get cheated on. Can you find someone that you feel has, really strong morals in that space and was raised in a family that yes. And you could still get cheated on. The last part of this, though, that I will also add is that when you're talking about people who are in the entertainment industry, when you're talking about people who have access to a variety of different spaces, you can't apply that to everyone's lifestyle. And generally, if you have more access and temptation, it makes it more difficult to stay on the rails. Now, I'm not saying that your man isn't cheating because he doesn't have the opportunity to. I'm just saying that those sensibilities change as well. You cannot control other people's behavior. People are going to treat you how they want to treat you because that's what humans are. Humans do what they want to do.
Now, that sounds nice, but here's the problem. You sound like a piece of crap. Have you noticed, gentlemen, that a lot of women don't really be honest with their infidelities or how women are cheating? Have y'all noticed this? I'm hearing too many content from ladies like Miss. What y'all see I'm playing is Joy Taylor, and any other woman that engage and act in modern days, talk about men and infidelity. Like women don't participate in cheating, and when I mean cheating, women are cheating more than men. Didn't Joy Taylor, was proposed to two men? And what I mean by this, I will show you better than I will tell you. 1 second. I have some better for y'all to see. Here it is. Let me show you a picture, guys. Because I was curious, because she talked about she was engaged not once, but more than once, right? So one thing I did, I look up good old Wikipedia. As you could tell, these are the two men that willing to go all in on Miss Joy Taylor. Her first husband on the left, Richard Gianti. I think that's Italian. I could be wrong. On the left, and I think he might be either a baseball player or football player. But it looks like he's a baseball player. He has a bat. Now, for disclosure, because I don't watch Fox or Take One, maybe on YouTube I see some highlights of Take One from Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, and all my focus was between the two gentlemen talking about sports. I do not know who this bitch is in the middle. This chick is in the middle. I don't know her. But what I've heard now that these lawsuit pages, that's 40 some pages long, about her and how she got in the position she is, or how she got to the position where she is at now. And mind you, she still is working for Fox or, ESPN or wherever the corporation she works for. She still works there, for those that has not been catching or been paying attention lately. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of people getting mad or getting their feelings. I'm not sure what's the story, what's going on. But I find ironic, this woman, and this is why I say this over and over again. And I'm going to repeat this over and over again. Unless you've been married, you went down the aisle and gone through and got away from engagement to actual marriage, you are still out here in these streets. You're in a relationship, but you're not really officially covered through matrimony of marriage, through, the same system, through the laws, what they call the Mr. Charlie's paperwork, legal paperwork that you are a man and you're like husband and wife legally. You're still a woman that is in a relationship with a man. Do you understand that? There's too many, and mind you, I did not know this one was black. I looked at her pictures and I thought it was some type of woman, maybe more thick looking. Maybe she could be white Hispanic, maybe. Because there are some Hispanic women that look like Joy Reid if you're not really paying attention. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But when I did a little bio of her first, because I know anybody else that's related to Joy Taylor. To Joy Taylor, right? It comes to my knowledge, she is black. For her, little small bios here and there. And probably if I look at Wikipedia, it probably goes in a little bit more detail. I doubt it. I could look at it now. Since I'm on here, let me just take a look right now. Make sure I could be right or wrong, because I don't want me spilling for the lip. I gotta make sure I'm very much accurate. Where's Joy Taylor? All right. I'm just gonna take a quick look. Make sure you hit the like button and share the stream. Let me scan through this. Eventually, okay. Okay, I'm looking at now bio. Okay. She joins Fox Sports in March 2016. That is now a period of almost 9 years now. In March. It's 8.5 going on 9 in March. And I'm looking at it, it's good now. I'm just scanning through it. And one thing I did not know, because in some dot in bio, they said that she is African American. Her brother, Jason Taylor, was an NFL defensive end for 15 seasons in the NFL. And his brother looked more like he could be more African looking. So it makes sense that, yeah, Joy is black, African American woman. Now, as you see the pictures, and I'm looking at the pictures now, when she joins Fox Sports, she was engaged to this man on the left. And he broke it off because the word on the street is, well, not word, it's been confirmed, she was committing adultery in their relationship, which the man had to call it off. And not only he had to call it off, the man that she was messing around with paid this man back for the wedding that they could have had. And I think the money the man invested in marrying Miss Joy Taylor on the middle was going to be over 6 figures. Hopefully. Because last I checked, most of you people that got it like that, why are you spending money on $1 million weddings? That don't make no goddamn sense. Either you got it, you got it. Let me tell you something. Marriage today, if you're going to invest that much money in a wedding, be sure that your marriage, God forbid, will last at least 20 years. But when we look at through data and through paper, these marriages not even surviving a decade. So spend money on $1 million wedding or alleged a 6-figure wedding is actually wasting money. It's pointless now. You invest in this, and then you're eventually going to have this, eventually going to be walking down the aisle and then walking to the lawyer's office for papers for divorce. So yeah, she was messing around with this dude and he was going to go all the way and marry her. At the age she was at the time, that made her roughly 29. So it looked like he was dating this dude for like a year, maybe 2, just to be safe. And he decided to go as far as give her a ring. So mind you, Miss Joy Taylor, she's also a swirler too. So she was not only messing around with people in the, at the workforce, but she was going to get married to this dude on the left. And didn't go through because he got wind that she was messing around. Now I'm not sure how he knew that she was cheating. I find it ironic how he got wind of that. That to me is a little bit strange, but okay. He found out, didn't go through it, called off. Now, For the man on the right, that's a coach for, I think he's the Phoenix Suns. And I gotta change this. He is actually ex. He was gonna get married to Joy Taylor back in 2018, going 2019. And eventually he called it off because he got wind or found out. And let me tell you something. Let me say this. I don't know how you gentlemen that's not paying attention to detail to women that look pretty decent like Miss Joy Taylor. And she looked decent for her age. To find out she gets around. You know, you hear the old song from Tupac, I get around. Round and round, round, round. I get round. I get around. She's that woman that gets around. Like literally, she does get around. Literally. No shades. So she gets around. So he probably got wind of it, all right. And eventually, he eventually called it off as well. No surprise. So she was gonna be hold on. She was gonna get married. Well, she was gonna get married to this one on the left. Then eventually she got another chance with this basketball player on the right. So before I continue, I'm gonna bring up the first person that come on the panel, the Snowman. How you doing, Mr. Snowman?
How are you, sir? Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too. Everything's good. Now I know you've been following Mr. Snow. As you know, a lot of content creators have not been going in detail of the men that was gonna make this woman or this lady a wife. From the left to the right.
And I have a pretty good theory as to why.
Mm-hmm.
Defeats their narrative.
Mm.
Second reason, second theory. Now these are just theories. They don't want to talk about it. And the third one is something that kind of, gets me.
Mm-hmm.
It's too close to home. Now, I have been so blessed these past 7 years to be with Jody.
Okay.
My beautiful wife.
Mm-hmm.
But like you were saying a moment ago, you have to be aware of the clues of a person like this getting around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and her connection, does a Hall of Famer by the name of Jason Taylor ring a bell?
Jason Taylor. Yeah, I talked about it just recently. Just briefly. Yeah, I was looking at, because I did not know Joy Taylor was black when I first heard about her. Because remember, I don't watch Fox Sports. I don't watch First Take like that unless it's on YouTube. I'll see some clips here on certain topics. I will catch on them, but I don't really watch their show. And I'm not going to detail who made First Take, because that's not part of this conversation. But the point is this: I did not know she was a part of it until this breaked out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm be honest, and you might know this because you're more, this is your field, sports. When we turn into and we watch these and the analysts that take on football, basketball, any sports, we don't really sit there and say, where's the girls at? We sit there, we tune in and say, we want to know what's the detail, what's the business. That's the first thing that comes to mind to most men that watch sports on the average.
Yeah.
To find that there's a woman right there is saying, okay, but the back of my mind, I always question, why are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're talking about sport. This is man stuff. Not saying women don't have a place in broadcasting sports, but we always got to understand, Snowman. There's a lane for everybody.
There is.
This woman in the middle, I don't know what the fuck her lane. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be mindful of language. I'm not sure what her role is.
Listen, you can use all the swear words.
Yeah. No, because remember this channel. That's why I
gotcha.
Okay.
And that's kind of why I curbed the swearing on my channel also. So
yeah. Just for today, I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? But guys, support channel. Y'all know what this. I'm support Cash App or Super Chat. Anyway, but you know the deal. This woman, when I look at her, and I'm saying, what biz you have in regards to know about men in football? Yeah, your brother played football, but your brother played football.
Therein lies the unanswered question.
Yeah.
What is her, like you just said a moment ago, what is her lane?
Yeah.
Frankly, she doesn't have one.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about the basic fundamentals of sportscasting, it's a business I've been in for 30 years. It's a business my wife has been in with me since I met her because she's a big time football fan.
Okay.
And she told me, I'll watch and analyze football with you all day because we're both football fans. As far as the other stuff, I'm as
Mm-hmm.
old school as you, but I'm not a big sports nerd like you are. So I'll hold back and I'll just help behind the scenes.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So when I look at it, say, what is her role? What's her purpose? You have no purpose. You're just there just for someone to, after a while they're not paying attention, they could take a look at you.
Yep.
And if we look at some of the highlights, I'm not sure anything revealing. Maybe her chest might be big, and I could tell from what she dressed, maybe. But really, most of the men that tune into Fox Sports or First Take, where Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp mostly, they
Mhm.
look at these dudes' interaction and having the conversation, talking about man stuff,
Right.
business, football.
Mhm.
Who's the hottest? Who's the weakest? They announces what went wrong in the game. Which really, I'm saying is personally, Shannon really made First Take. That's why when he departure, you don't see First Take the way it was never the same since.
Mhm. That's true.
And here's the funny thing, because we're gonna go there, and we got women here. Black
Go
women.
there. Please go there.
We're there. I think no, I know Skip Bayless has a certain affinity, how you say it? He has a certain
Affinity.
maybe affinity, but it's like he is in competition with the regular black man that did the sport.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if I remember Skip Bayless ever played or run a football or play basketball in a professional manner. Do you?
I don't, but I know he's been a sports columnist and has followed sports for a long time.
Okay.
When you need, because the first sport I ever loved was baseball. Tried to play it, couldn't play it. But I have been tied into baseball since the 80s because my dad took me to my first baseball game. I fell in love with the sport. And then since my junior year of high school, I've been doing the next best thing, which is calling the game. So when you're entrenched like that, you invent your lane. You don't just find your lane, you invent it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yep. That's good. That's good. I'm not a baseball fan, but like I said, wherever you're passionate and you love and what you're good at, you have to, create the content which people are gonna sit there and rock with. And I'm
Yes.
not a baseball person, but if I want to know something about who might potentially win or who's weak in the baseball area, like I said, I come to you, Snowman, because that's more of your strongest lane, baseball, and even and I'm not sure who won the last championship in the Major League Baseball, but we're not going to that. But like I said, there are certain pros and cons when it comes to certain analysis when dealing with sports.
Yep, there is.
And Joy Taylor is not that person I see or come to watch if I invest time and energy to these outlets to get my information about sports. Now, move forward, because y'all see his picture and no one has really addressed this, but I have to. And I have to be honest in the context of this, that because this woman right here, a black woman, and what she was going to do, and she might still do, but time will tell, that at 37, about to be 38 in another week or so, because she is Capricorn, that you blew your opportunity being around men that make a whole lot of money in the last decade and a half. I mean, decade and a few years, 12 or 13 years. Now you out here, God do what you, matter of fact, you probably be doing it already for all we know. And you're at the point now as a woman that you feel it's not necessary to really bind or clinch onto a man because she understands the nature of the mindset of men today, particularly certain black men and certain white men. And let's be honest, white men not wifing her up. Let's keep it real. At her age, they're not wasting their time. The last dude that you had opportunity to wife up, you were at 29 years old. This dude right here, he found way that you were getting your cheeks clapped, and you should, throat go to the men where you work at. He said, not only I left, but the man that he found out he has to pay back this man his money,
Mhm.
and my money he's gonna invest in the wedding. That's pimping right there.
Yep.
And listen, I heard stories. This dude got he was gonna spill the tea on this chick right here.
I hope he does.
Now, well, if he's smart and if this lawsuit goes through, which I think it's going to, or they're gonna pay this chick money to get away, because, and there's another thing. You work for a major, well, you work either for yourself or work for these companies, Snowman.
Mhm.
And I don't mind all the other black content creators or content creators in general talk about Fox Sports or Fox as a corporation. Matter of fact, if I use the power of AI, let me see what AI is. Let's see what's the network of Fox. What is don't tell me, let me see what it will say. What is the net worth of Fox?
It's in the billions.
It seemed that corporation Fox News. Now, right now, it said since Fox Corporation parent company has a net worth, hear this, 21.97 billion as of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Hannity, the highest paid Fox News anchor, which I think I heard about. He's racist, but I heard about him, but I'm not going to him. He is I think he has a higher network. His highest paid Fox News anchor has a net worth of $250 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one right now that's really racking the bucks for Fox. And he's been doing it now for maybe over 30 years, for all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe long, maybe 40 years. I'm not sure how old Sean Hannity is. As a matter of fact, let me see if you know how old Sean Hannity. How old is Sean? All right. All right, let's see how old he is. Okay, so that means I could be right. He'd be probably doing this for over 40 years because he's now 63, about to turn 64 in the end of this year alone.
Yeah.
So he's been in the business for way over 40 years. So that makes that actually the math makes sense. I was almost right. But the point is this. And like I told people earlier, Mr. Snowman, I'm gonna go through the PDF. I'm not gonna read it per se. I'm gonna let artificial intelligence speed read this and pause it because it's lengthy. That if this woman is asking for a couple million, in the word on the street, she's asking maybe 5 to 10 million, maybe 10 million at most. Most likely the Fox is gonna probably write that off like any corporation, because really no one's talking about these corporations because they make so much money. You think they're just gonna give a hand out? No, they're gonna write off this.
Oh yeah, they'll
like
write
many things. And if she's asking for 10 million, they're gonna negotiate down to maybe 7 million.
Mm-hmm.
They might, and then even that, maybe close to half that. Maybe, and she might be like, she might get over 7 million. If they give her 10, great. Which really they have the money to give her that. Because if your network is in the billions, and I want people to understand this, and this is gonna sound effed up, but I'm gonna be honest. I hear a lot of content creators talking about saying that you shouldn't do nothing in the workforce. They're gonna put some parameters so they don't lose money. Listen, you dummies. These corporations are making hand over fist in the billions.
And easy.
Give somebody $1 million and they can prove it.
Just a drop in the bucket.
Do you know that if they're employing people by the thousands, you know that's an easy tax write-off?
The easiest tax write-off they'll ever have.
You think these people are concerned losing billions of dollars? Fox, let me tell you something, Snowman. I'm gonna be honest with most people, and it's not gonna be popular, but I'm gonna keep real. Regardless, people watch this, and I see people are dropping off, and that's fine. Fox, like any corporation, NBC, ABC, which they're going to beg Trump, which is stupid because they're a corporation as well. They're not losing billions. They say they lose money, but that's nothing. The point is this. These corporations, money is not tied just to network alone. Once you're racking in 100 million or more annually a month, or you're making millions constantly, you're going to be investing in other small corporations.
Mm-hmm.
That's the secret they don't tell you.
And
you think they're gonna lose? That it's going? No one's gonna watch Fox and go down the toilet. Think again. Think again. You do not understand the network. Once you pass the $1 billion mark, your money is easily could be transferred to somewhere else. You could do something else on the side and always find ways to keep the money going with the backing of the government.
Easy.
Easy now, because
Easy.
you're something that is a necessity that you put back into United States government. But we don't go into the information what how money works here in America, especially when you're corporatized the right way. You get me? Donald Trump knew this because he knows loopholes. That's why people say why he has net worth, why he is this, that, and no, because he understands how the game works effectively. That's why you see stupid people, non-blacks, especially talking about, he owes this and tax and all stupid shit. No, that's a bucket. That's nothing.
Right. That's a write-off.
That's a write-off. That's nothing. Because you go to their schools, they don't teach you about money. They don't teach you about how business really work here in America.
They don't educate.
And that is the. Sorry, go ahead.
They don't educate you on all the loopholes.
Never do, and they will never will.
And
the only thing you might understand the loopholes, to be fair, honest, and it's gonna sound messed up, but the only you go maybe in college, and that is college even teach you right. Because most people that know these loopholes, they know someone that they know embeds with someone else. So really, the game was always rigged. You see this lady right here? She's playing. You think she's playing to win and keep? No, she's playing a losing game, because one thing about her, like most modern women, you are playing and the clock is not your favor. Now, what I'm gonna do to move forward, and guys, like the stream, and one other thing, I gotta play this commercial because I know what time it is. Don't play with me. Do not play with me, guys. You know I am.
My money. I told you.
Where is my money?
Benny.
Yep.
Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
Everyone!
So please support the channel, guys.
Please.
Super chat.
Please.
The Chaos Rain Show. As you know, everything contributions will be appreciated in the Chaos Rain. I didn't set the quota because there's a new thing on YouTube where you can set the quotas now. People who have super chats. You might get eventually if you got it already. But yeah, moving forward.
I'm going to take advantage of tomorrow when I do my women's basketball game with TCU in Kansas.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to rewind back. What these are words from Miss Joy Reid. I mean, sorry, Joy Taylor. I don't want to call her Joy Reid. That's weird. But Joy Taylor.
Joy Taylor Reid.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why Joy Taylor Reid.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I'm gonna play it from the beginning so people understand and give more deep commentary. Besides one of her views on cheating, because really she has no authority talking about cheating because she's been messing around, God knows, for a long time and continue to mess around. And talking about men cheating and women cheat just as more, probably more than men now.
Women cheat about 3-4 times more than men do. I'm gonna go ahead and drop off because I know I'm gonna be up a while and I want to get all my stuff ready for tomorrow.
Okay.
And my wife goes back to work tomorrow, but I will be listening throughout the course of the night. So thanks for having me up. I appreciate you.
Take care, Mr. Snowman. Take care. Yeah, that's Brian Snow. He does the news anchor on his own channel, YouTube. All right, so let's run this one more time. Berries.
Chaos Rain!
Are there pros and cons when starting a celibacy journey, and does it impact overall health? Yeah, I've gone through several intentionally celibate chapters in my life, and yeah, overall health, I don't know, maybe you get more sleep. But definitely like reminding yourself why you're doing it. For me, it was always either I really want to focus on like my career or what I have to accomplish in this space, and I don't want my attention to be drawn in any other directions. And it's always about realigning and breaking soul ties when I need to have that kind of space. But for me, having like, okay, I'm going to do this for 6 months, or I'm going to do this for a year. And, maybe you go longer, but if you're really wanting to be celibate for that reason, you've got to be honest with yourself and really hold yourself accountable.
Now, that's good. That's great. But here's the problem. Most women today, and I could probably say with a clear conscience, majority of women today are not celibate. Here's why. Because to be celibate you're going to have to be a woman that has the fortitude and a clear heart and conscience to not play with your own pussy. Yes, your box, your pussy. Oh, do y'all know y'all no longer accept y'all still consider not celibate once you start playing with sex. Y'all aware of that, right? I don't care what people tell you. Once you have to need the urge to release, you're not celibate. All right, hold on. Oh, hold on. Oh. Hold on. Let me do this. Oh, damn. Put it on. 1 second, guys. I think I did something wrong. Oh, so you're not considered celibate. I'm not sure why y'all guys do this. Why y'all think y'all celibate? It's cheating. To be celibate, you gotta be really all the way in celibate. And I've talked about this constantly on my channel. I'm matter of fact, I repeat myself so many times. I'm almost like a broken record. Personally, you want to be celibate, you're going to have to make the conscious effort to not touch any part of your body, including your pussy, your box, or your box. That I will know, and I will never know because I'm not in y'all lives. Let's be honest. That's the only way I will say that's when you're really taking it serious and you're in a stage of celibacy. But in that, most people today, especially women, you can't be really honest with yourself and be serious that you're going to be celibate. Not sure why this video, when I watched it and I watched it closely, hits differently. And we all know Miss Joy was never celibate. She's out here being a loose woman, a woman that is for the night, getting clapped up by men in the workforce. Hell, probably men on the low. Because if you getting and giving out the good to men in your workforce, what stop you from doing it in these streets? Just saying. Next video.
Chaos reign.
When we talk about what fathers are, when we talk about what real men are, when we're talking about what those standards are, giving somebody life is the bare minimum. Raising them, being responsible, being present, teaching them how to be good people, providing emotional and mental support for your children, being a parent. That is the thing that I think a lot of people, not just fathers, because certainly there are a lot of bad mothers. I'm just speaking to the fathers because that is my experience. My mother is tremendous. My father is not.
Now, let's unpack that. Why your father was not is my biggest question. Now, I'm not sure if your mother, in my opinion, had both you and your brother by the same man or two different daddies. I'm not sure. I would never know, and I'm not about to go do some digging on that. But let's assume that, the mother has one man that gave birth to two of her children, you and your brother, right? Why is your father not a great man? That should be something that needs to be unpacked. Personally. Literally personally. That's my question I need to ask. Because every man that's either involved or not involved, there's reasons for that. And I can't really call it saying that your father might be a piece of ish because I don't know why he will not be involved in his daughter's life. Personally. I mean, that's how I see it. I could be right, I could be wrong, but there's must be reasons for everything, you know. So I think that has something to do with your either trust issues or wherever you have with regular men or men in general, because it seemed to me that your father was not involved enough. So that has something to do with how you view men, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's the what you're telling or telling on yourself, how your upbringings are. I'm just saying. Let's listen to more.
The performance art of being supportive when the child knows that this is just for keeping up appearances is so maddening. It's so for other people and not for the root of why you're supposed to be there. It's psychological warfare you're playing with your child. You know, people ask me about having kids and why I don't want kids, and there's multiple reasons why I don't. But certainly if I ever were.
All right. Now, that could be your trauma, or it could be something more bigger why you don't want kids. Well, let's listen more to this. Why you don't want no kids.
To have a child, I'm committing to the idea of being a parent, not to making a child so that my name can live on, so that I have a legacy. What the f is your legacy if you're not actually raising your children?
Now, I could agree with that. I mean, you want your parents to be involved, man and woman. And usually my thinking is this, because we live in the West today in America, and how things are structured out and the modernization of the mindset of regular women today, the men that you choose to have these babies, that is actually a full commitment. And when I mean a full commitment, you went out your way and made the greatest, and I mean the greatest sacrifice of all, and that is to have this man see and bring forth fruit of life. So it is your rightful duty, no matter how long you know the dude or whatever, to make somewhat of a life with this man and try to make a family as best as possible. You always hear it from a lot of these dudes. You pick them, right? So you can't go back, run back, and regret decisions you make, because you went out your way to either lay down your back or be in the dog style position or whatever position that you're comfortable with when getting your cheeks clapped, right, to bring forth his child. That is a decision, a conscious decision you made. Now, I could tell from you, Miss Taylor. Yeah, you're a person. I don't know if I could say right now you're probably not fit to be a parent right now, and probably never will be fit because how you move in these streets. Well, let's say if you have a kid and they're saying you don't want to do it for legacy, and if you're not involved, why would a man go out the way and then go as far as try and put a ring on your finger to be someone's wife? Because last time I checked, most men that look for marriage, either have kids or not, are looking to continue their legacy, either they had one or not, with the woman they decide to marry. Do y'all do know that with marriage, children have to come forth? Children gotta be born if there's a marriage. Y'all aware of this, right? I'm not talking about the ones that just have casual sex and then oops, a baby. No, when people are getting married, it is indefinite that you're gonna have kids. Now I see that there's some people out here that got married and don't desire kids, because some of them already had kids in the relationship and then they get married for a reason. Okay. But the purpose of marriage is not only married that you're gonna bring forth son or daughter. You hear the saying, the old biblical saying, what do you call it? Mother, child, and father. Y'all aware of the saying, right? No different when it comes to union of marriage. But if you're a woman that don't think that you want to bring forth kids, then by all means, you should not be seeking to be a wife. Just saying. Because last time I checked, you ladies don't want to be no goddamn stepmother. Even if you want to be a stepmother, a man you dealing with, undoubtedly, he's going to breed you and you're going to bring forth his kid one way or the other. If you're not comfortable doing that, I would say just continue doing what you're doing. Be out here for these streets. If a man like the Earl Watson the world, or the, what do you call his name? Who's his name? Man's name I have up here. Or the Richard Gigante of the world, which you're not gonna see him again, because most likely most non-black men, mostly Caucasian men like him, are not so eager to be knocking up 30 something or almost pushing late 30s, going on 40-year-old women like you, Miss Taylor. Just saying. Anyhow, enough of that video. Now let's play one more video and then we're gonna go to this article. Let's check this out. Fairies. And this is really telling.
Leave the game if the seats were high, or if a man took you this place on a first date, what you would do. And I'm telling you, like, every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come up. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want. Fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
We need to say more on that. Was that clear, guys? Was that really clear? I hope that was clear. If not, I could run this again for though, because sometimes repetition is key, and it goes one ear and then unfortunately it does go the other. So let me be a good sport and run that game for people in the back.
Would you leave the game if the seats were high, or if a man took you this place on a first date, what you would do? And I'm telling you, like, every interaction that I have with people now, in some way or another, these things come up. Can we just keep it a buck? If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want. Fine, funny, fucking money. You're throwing all boundaries, standards, all that shit you talked on Instagram about how you would never, and this woman ain't because women this and men this, you're moving forward with this person.
That's enough said. So back to the picture as you see here. All you gotta do is look good. One, that's a plus. Money, another plus, A plus. She's getting down with you. She will get on her knees tonight, and she'll be your nice little plaything. She'll be a throat goat to you all night long. All night long, all night long. It's like this pause. Wait, matter of fact, yeah, that's a pause right there.
Pause.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got pause to that. She's down. She's definitely down for the get down. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh, for those that want to come up, the link's in the chat room. I am pinned it. You'll see it in the chat room. And please, guys, support the channel. And I did not put the banner. You hit the super chat or the cash app to the Chaos Marine Show. Your donation matter. And if you guys have a serious question that I'm not aware of, put in a super chat so I could show everybody. So now what I'm going to do now for the next whatever time we have on here, I'm going to speed read this. I'm not gonna read it, but I'm gonna run the actual paperwork. Oh, and a side note, for those that don't know, I heard certain content creators say they had to pay to get this particular article, the full article. That is a bunch of bullshit. You can get this article that I'm going to show to y'all right now. The lawsuit article right now on the internet. It's not somewhere you have to go pay behind paywall to get that. Anyone's telling you about they got this through their money to reveal to y'all on any podcast, they're lying to you. Like literally, they're lying through their teeth. So, all right, let me stop sharing this. Let me see if I can find it. All right, let me see what this is. All right, let me pull it up so I can see it, because and let me take a look, see how it looks on my end. Oh, that's perfect. Y'all can see that. Okay. Right here, you see this? Now, I know most people had this. They heard about it. Some people have read it. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to speed through this bad boy, because no one has really gone through all 42 pages of this. I'm going to see what I could do. We're going to start with a summary. Okay, yeah, we're going to go for the summary part of this, and let me make sure my thing is on. Oh, damn. 1 second, guys, because I don't think I have the thing set up. 1 second, let me look for it. Looks like for some reason I don't got my thing on. Let me look for it. Oh gosh, if I had the player on. Okay, how to fix this? Okay, I got it back on. Perfect. So we're going to speed. Let me see if I could raise the speed level of this. All right. All right. Well, I'm just going to let it play. I hope this will play. Let's see if this will go.
Farage v. Fox. And on behalf of others similarly situated.
Hold on.
Superior Court of the State of California.
Okay, I see what's going. All right.
Ms. Farage. Ms. Farage.
Okay. Let me see how it sounds on my end, because I always got to do a sound test. You know how it is before I let the thing run. I'm going to let speed run a little bit, but let's see how it sounds first. Because one time I did this, it did not, I couldn't hear it. So I should be able to hear it now.
Transport.
1 second, guys. All right, let me run this. Let me see if it'll play it. Let me run this. Let me see if it'll.
Ms. Faragee.
Let me run this. Let me see if it'll.
Ms. Faragee.
Let me run this. Let me see if it'll. All right, it'll play. All right, let's begin. We're going to do the summer action. What page is this? This is. Oh, it's page 2. No, I'm not going to go. Let me scroll down. All right. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to start from the beginning. So we'll go from the beginning and see how this goes. Summary of the action. Let's go.
Faragee v. Fox.
Hold on.
And on behalf of others similarly situated, Superior Court of the State of California. Failure to pay all weight.
All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm still new to this, so. All right. It should read now. Let's go.
1. 25, collectively referred to as defendants. I summary of action. 1. Ms. Faragee brings forth this action because for over a decade, at Fox, she was forced to endure a misogynistic, racist, and ableist workplace where executives and talent were allowed to.
Okay.
1. 25, collectively referred to as defendants. Faragee v. Fox. And on behalf of others similarly situated.
Oh, you know what I'm doing wrong? I know I'm doing wrong because I did not highlight. So I'm going to highlight all this. All right. This should work now. All right. Let's see if this works. All right. Play.
131415161718192021222324252627282 complaint comes now plaintiff.
All right, that's not gonna work. Oh God, I hate this. All right, not fit.
Faragee v. Fox. And on behalf of others similarly situated, Superior Court of the State of California. Failure to pay all wages upon separation. Unfair, unlawful, or fraudulent business. Plaintiff Nushin Faragee, an individual, Ms. Faragee. Defendant Fox Corporation, a Delaware corporation, Fox Corp, comma. Delaware Limited Liability Company, Fox Sports 1, LLC, a Delaware company, Fox Sports 2, LLC, a Delaware Limited Liability. Sports Productions, LLC, a Delaware Limited Liability Company. Mr. Dixon. Defendant Skip Bayless, an individual, Mr. Bayless, Defendant Joy Taylor. Workplace where executives and talent were allowed to. Instead of addressing their concerns, Fox retaliated against. Chronicling the toxic culture at Fox, marked by bad faith promises. Exempt hourly employees employed in California, class members, beginning 4 years prior to the filing of this complaint and ending on the date as determined by the court, the class period. Had a consistent policy and / or practice of I. Wages. 2. Failing to pay employees all. Failing to pay all wages upon separation. Knowingly and intentionally failing to furnish accurate itemized wage statements. Committed unfair, unlawful, and fraudulent business practices in violation of California's unfair competition law, UCL. Was hired to work out of and did work out of Los. Each cause of action arises from California state law and a substantial number of the events giving rise to this lawsuit took place in Los Angeles, CA. 04, 226, 510, 558, 1194, 1197, 2699, 2802, Business and Professor Code 17200. For all times relevant during the events of. Was employed at Fox as a hairstylist on a part. Is a publicly traded corporation listed on the NASDAQ Stock Exchange and is the parent company of. Revenue of $13,980,000,000 and net income of $1,554,000,000. Defendant Fox Sports Holdings, LLC is a Delaware limited liability company. Defendant Fox Sports 1, LLC is a Delaware limited liability company. Defendant Fox Sports 2, LLC is a Delaware limited liability company. Defendant Fox Sports Productions, LLC is a Delaware limited liability. Executive Vice President of Content for FS1. Overseeing all content.
And you know, it did skip who's defendant by Charles Dixon. He is the Executive Vice President of Content for Fox, flagship multi-support national network. And who is this man? For those that do not know who he is, I'll pull up a picture. Better than I could tell you. Where's the picture? Where is it? There's the picture. Where is the picture? Damn, I know. I can't find the picture. Where is Joy? Oh, here it is. It's the picture. Charles Dixon on the right. Emil Akko. He's not do that kind, was involved with, and this is the woman that she's suing Fox for RG. This woman. She don't look Muslim. She look like a regular Caucasian woman. But who's keeping track? All right, so let's keep playing. All right, let's keep playing.
Production on the. Who was terminated from Fox due to reports of sexual harassment. An agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Ms. Farage's employment. Upon information and belief. Ports columnist, commentator, and television personality. An agent of Fox and had authority to make decisions impacting Ms. Farage's employment. Upon media personality and television host for Fox. She co-make decisions impacting Ms. Farage's employment. Upon information and belief. While not currently named as defendants herein. Eric Shanks, CEO and executive producer of Fox Sports. Defendants based up.
Something's not right here. I feel something's not right with this. This is not going in detail. I apologize, guys, because this skipping some important things. So I'm going to see if I can get it read here. And now I might have to read this because I can't depend on this stupid ass artificial intelligence reading this stupid thing. Yeah, I can't depend on it.
Discovery yet to be adduced in this action concerning their involvement with, were made privy to, or should have been privy to all significant. Further, on information and belief, Mr. Silverman and Mr. Shanks, along with Fox's legal team, worked hard to protect perpetrators by forcing individuals who were witnesses to our harassment to sign non-disclosure agreements upon separation from employment. Is ignorant of the true names, capacities, relationships, participation in the conduct herein alleged, of the defendants sued herein as informed and believes and thereon alleges that said defendants are legally responsible for the wrongful conduct alleged herein and therefore sues these defendants by such fictitious names to allege the true names and capacities of the D. In 2003, Ms. Faraghi began to work at Jose Ever Hair Salon, a sophisticated salon. Ms. Faraghi was introduced by a co-worker at the salon to entertainment for Fox Broadcasting Company, and on the premises of Fox. Over time, as Ms. Faraghi's co-worker became busy with other clients, he sent Ms. Faraghi on her own to do. When hired, Ms. Faraghi was asked to bring her own tools for her work. She would later discover that all her co-workers received a kit fee for bringing their own tools. However, she herself would not receive a kit fee until 2019, approximately 7 years. In addition, while Ms. Faraghi was a hairstylist, i.e., styling hair, her also required that she do the job duties of a barber, i.e., cutting hair. When Ms. Faraghi complained to her union, they told her that while cutting hair was not in her contract, Ms. Faraghi was known to be difficult, and it was best to just comply with. Accordingly, throughout her tenure, Ms. Faraghi both styled and cut hair. In approximately March 2016, Ms. Faraghi met opportunity of airtime at Fox. At the time, Ms. Taylor did not have a regular position but would fill in on a day. Ms. Faraghi that she was recently wed but her husband remained in Miami and that she was lonely in Los Angeles. Ms. Taylor. In approximately May 2016, Ms. Taylor asked Ms. Faraghi to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. When Ms. Faraghi arrived, she found Ms. Taylor with an older man, Fox Sport Dixon. As executive vice president, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. Ms. Faraghi, however, did not know Mr. Dixon. When Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Ms. Faraghi asked. Ms. Taylor responded that he was just a friend. Following that night, whenever Ms. Faraghi would meet with Ms. Taylor for drinks or food, Mr. Dixon would either arrive with Ms. Taylor or show up later in the night and leave with Ms. Taylor. He would always buy rounds of drinks and or food. From their body language, Ms. Faraghi suspected that the pair were sleeping with each other, and Ms. Taylor was recently married. Ms. Faraghi kept her. In approximately June 2016, while at work, Ms. Faraghi noticed Mr. Dixon in the elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Ms. Faraghi found Ms. Taylor and told her excitedly, "The guy who always buys our drinks was in the elevator." Ms. Taylor quickly. Ms. Faraghi became alarmed and warned Ms. Taylor that such a relationship. Ms. Taylor told her not to worry about it. Ms. Faraghi continued to be friends with Ms. Taylor but tried either the situation dangerous as well as morally wrong as Ms. Taylor. Approximately July 2016, word spread amongst Fox. Was known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience to also star, therefore, it. Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Ms.
As the thing skipped, and I don't know why it's skipping, but I'm gonna read that sentence. Well known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience. It also stars. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced Mrs. Taylor, Joy Taylor, who was a bartender and radio host in Miami with very little TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. And I think that was in 2016, I believe. Yeah. And right here, Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Miss Faraghi that he did not want Mrs. Taylor on the show. But Mr. Dixon was adamant that Mrs. Taylor should start. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Mrs. Taylor, where she arrived in provocative clothing and act in a provocative manner. Let's keep playing.
That he did not want Ms. Taylor on the show. but Mr. Dixon was adamant that Miss Taylor should star. At first, Mr. Dixon arrived in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. When that did not change Mr. Bayless's opinion of Miss Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to him. Reluctantly, Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband and Mr. Dixon and his wife. During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious that and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after, of the inappropriate relationship and divorced Miss Taylor started. Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraghi. Taylor started. Miss Taylor requested Miss Faraghi to do her hair. In approximately November 2016, after not allowing anyone to touch his hair, Mr. Bayless also requested Miss Faraghi to do his hair. Mr. Dixon gropes Miss Faraghi after putting her on. Miss Faraghi and other Fox employees who were invited attended as it was a part of their job duties to appease talent, and a birthday party is an important event. Blustering that everything purchased was. As Miss Faraghi was standing near the bar, facing the crowd, Mr. Dixon approached her. He asked the bartender for a drink and then placed his arm on Miss Faraghi's lower back. He asked how she was doing, if she was having fun, and if she wanted a tequila shot. Uncomfortable by his unsolicited touching and responded, "No, thank you." Mr. Dixon then moved his hand lower and started rubbing her body and grabbing her buttocks. Miss Faraghi did not know who to turn to, but as she knew Miss Taylor was sleeping with Mr. Dixon, she turned to her. Surprisingly, Miss Taylor responded to get over it and explained that job because of Mr. Dixon and that Miss Faraghi only had her job because Miss Taylor requested her. She warned that Mr. Dixon could take both away. Miss Faraghi was terrified and then turned to her co-worker, Anonymous, to discuss the situation. Anonymous responded that Mr. Dixon was disgusting, that the entire situation, and that Miss Faraghi should remain quiet if she, as a single mother who needed the job to support her son, Miss Faraghi had no. 7 years later,
Now, the pause for a second, and let me read that part number 30. Miss Faraghi was terrified and then turned to her co-workers anonymously to discuss the situation. Anonymously responded that Mr. Dixon was disgusting, that the entire situation was sick, but that it wasn't shocking given Fox culture, and that Miss Faraghi should remain quiet if she wants to keep her job. As a single mother who needs the job to support her son, Miss Faraghi had no choice but to remain silent. Now, here's one thing. She is a single mother, from what I'm hearing. I'm not sure if she was married. I don't think she was ever married. And she wasn't. It makes sense why she would come live in America. You know, now that I think about it, I think America is the hub now. And I could be wrong, but I'm going to go there. I think it is the hub for single motherhood. That's the vibe I'm getting right now with America. America is the hub for single motherhood. Now I think about it. And that sounds effed up, but am I lying? How you a woman, a Muslim woman, like literally a Muslim woman with a single, raising a single boy, and then against your religion to be doing that? I'm just saying. Anyhow, let's keep going. And I'm going to read the rest of this paper because I'm not going to deal with the AI. AI is skipping around a lot of the important parts.
Ms. Faraghi told Ms. Faraghi that she did not like her or. Ms. Faraghi expanded that she had already scheduled someone for hair on. When Mr. Dixon called, scheduled someone for hair on. When Mr. Dixon called her and told her that she must put Ms. Faraghi on. Protect their identity and prevent retaliation, we refer to several different individuals anonymously in this complaint, defining the individuals. Time. Ms. Faraghi told Ms. Faraghi, "I didn't like that. That's not how things should be done." Ms. Faraghi. As she prides herself on her work and earning her accolades. Later that day, while thinking about her career, she was angry that Ms. Faraghi succumbed to Mr. Dixon's request as it gave Mr. Dixon the feeling that he could grope her for giving her a job. Hired Ms. Faraghi to do her hair at her house for an awards show. Told Ms. Faraghi that she would know.
Now, there's something that was missing on letter D. Mr. Dixon gets rid of female talent members for refusing to have sex with him. That's something to keep an eye out. Let's listen more.
Longer be with Fox as Mr. Dixon told her that she would need to have sex with him if she wanted to renew her contract, but she further conveyed that Mr. Dixon was doing this too. Or to be careful, and 3. A talk show host had recently reported Mr. Dixon. Following the lunch, Ms. Faraghi called Ms. Taylor to convey what Anonymous had stated. Ms. Taylor responded that no one gives a f about Anonymous or the talk show host who. Faraghi later observed that Ms. Taylor's remark appeared accurate, as no actions were taken to address the concerns raised. If it was not already apparent, it became even more. Ranking individuals to abuse their authority, exerted. Fear permeated the workplace as stories of mistreatment circulated. As one example, Mr. Dixon deliberately assigned a female talent member, who had been harassed and reported it, to a justification to terminate her employment. In another instance, a co-worker who frequently cried in the hallway due to relentless sexual harassment was fired just 1 week after. Atmosphere where speaking up seemed futile and dangerous. Mr. Bayless, atmosphere where speaking up seemed futile and dangerous. Mr. Bayless begins to give Ms. Faraghi lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek while putting his body against hers and pressing against her breasts. After the reporting by the talk show host fell on deaf ears.
I think in regards to that is considered groping for those that's not familiar. That's groping for those that don't know. If you're watching, hit the like button. Likes are free. All right. Let's keep going.
Ms. Faraghi give him a haircut once a week. Ms. Poridi required Ms. Faraghi to give haircuts to talent. Initially, during the haircuts, Mr. Bayless would discuss his life, his work at Fox, and other. Haircuts started, Mr. Bayless began finding excuse. Hugs after each haircut, putting his body against her own, pressing against her breasts. He then began to. Faraghi was uncomfortable by the physical contact and would make excuses. In approximately summer 2017, while Ms. Faraghi was giving Mr. Bayless a haircut, he, as English is her second language and she was not familiar with the.
Now, keep in mind, Skip Bayless is 75 years of age, now, which he's probably going to turn 76 in months of 2025, right? And keep in mind, I think Skip is still married to his wife for many years now. The question should be asked for those that don't know. And this is something that a lot of content creators have been telling a lot of men this. You have options once you make a certain threshold money-wise. Now, a woman could divorce you if you're a millionaire, mostly. And if you're less than a millionaire, I mean, she'll get some, but nothing significant. But if you're a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, working at a corporation like Skip has been working for, I would say, maybe almost 60 years, maybe. Because he's born in 1949. So we could say he's been working this thing since the 50s. What is it, 50s? No. My fault, not 50s, 70s. I apologize. Yeah. That's over 50 years. Roughly. You think his wife is going anywhere? And knowing that he's been doing this for some time now with a lot of employees that work on Fox? I'm just saying. Let's continue.
Ms. Faraghi asked what that meant. Mr. Bayless seemed amused and told her to figure it out. Being more aggressive and direct in his advances. Ms. Faraghi continuously declined, stating that she did. Ms. Faraghi was terrified and then turned to her co-work. Decided that because Mr. Bayless was a powerful man and Fox protected powerful men, example Mr. Dixon's actions were openly known but ignored, it would only be to her detriment to report the issue. Faraghi needed to be kind towards Mr. Bayless or risk her job. As a single mother who relied on her job to support her son, Ms. Faraghi felt that she had no choice. Ms. Faraghi has her hours cut after going on medical leave. In approximately November 2017, Ms. Faraghi hurt her back at work, couldn't move for nearly 40 days, and received workers' compensation. In approximately December 2017, when Ms. Faraghi returned from her leave, she was not time schedule and learned from when Ms. Faraghi returned from her leave, she was not time schedule and learned from a co-worker that to someone else. Ms. Faraghi called her union for help. Would be illegal under the law. Ms. Faraghi then called Human Resources, who confirmed that she on January 5, 2018, Ms. Poridi called Ms. Faraghi into her office. When Ms. Faraghi arrived, an individual from Human Resources was present, and Ms. Poridi was falsely explaining that time schedule, and further explained that Ms. Poridi had been treating her poorly for years. Ms. Faraghi then had multiple meetings with Human Resources where she explained that Ms. Poridi yelled at her, made fun of her, and bullied her. Example: Ms. Poridi told Ms. Faraghi that she did not like her, and from Ms. Faraghi's perspective, there was no resolution after these conversations, as she was never informed of any sort of conclusion or action taken on Fox's part. Colin. Thus, every day, Ms. Faraghi would do Mr. Bayless's, and then would do Ms. Taylor and Mr. Calhert's hair for her entire tenure at Fox. Mr. Calhert was professional. Fiancé broke off the engagement and threatened to go public with all that he knew. Information and belief. Mr. Dixon paid for the wedding deposits in Mr. Diaz racially and sexually.
Now, if y'all remember, this is the marriage that Joy Taylor was going to get married for the first time by the white athlete. I think is what's his name again? Gigante. I think that's the last name. That's the dude that he had to pay off after he got wind that his wife was, or his future wife was, committing adultery. Let's keep going.
Ms. Faraghi. The individual who puts the microphone on talent, mocked Ms. Faraghi for her pronunciation of English words, and Ms. Faraghi did not respond. She just kept her eyes glued on the monitor playing. Ms. Poridi was present and did not do anything. Diaz openly gropes, harasses, and is inappropriate with. Mr. Diaz has not been fired, reportedly due to.
Hold on, guys. 1 second. 1 second. I'm not sure what happened. All right, let me see if I can fix this.
His role in supplying cocaine to numerous Fox employees and talent, even after an incident where Mr. Diaz made a mockery of.
Now, Mr. Diaz is the man that supplies the hard drugs to the employees in Cali. Y'all know how Cali is, the Cali culture is. It's about that white powder, baby. It's about that white dust, that nice ooey gooey. Oh, hold on. It's that white gooey. That's that thing that get a lot of people in trouble. It's that thing that get a lot of people locked up. So keep in mind when you work in LA in corporations, beware that white power might come near you. All right, let's keep going.
His discussions with Human Resources regarding his interactions with Ms. Faraghi. He told various employees that Ms. Faraghi was stupid.
Okay.
Various employees that Ms. Faraghi was stupid stated that, despite being told not to speak about saying who gives a shit. He further boasted that he would never be fired. In approximately February 2020, Ms. Taylor asked Ms. Faraghi to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. When Ms. Faraghi arrived, she found Ms. Taylor with a man, Emanu Echo, but could tell that the two were romantic.
Now, who's Echo Amato or Amato Echo? You know the picture. I'm going to say Echo is. Stop sharing. present, share screen. Cause we gotta look at pictures here. Oh, this is him, and he has his own social media, but he so kindly and so questionably took it down. I wonder why. Let's continue with the article. And I tell you, this is a long article, but you know, where is it? Let's continue with this. All right, let's go.
A few months after that the two were romantic. A few months after meeting Mr. Aiko at the lunch, Ms. Faraghi later asked Ms. Taylor if Mr. Aiko also worked at Fox. Ms. Faraghi became alarmed and warned Ms. Taylor that she should probably not sleep with.
Wait. Ms. Taylor confirms and explains that she wants Mr. Aiko to eventually recommend her on the show. Speaking for yourself. Ms. Faraghi became alarmed and warned Ms. Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Aiko at the same time. And Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very angry. Ms. Taylor told her not to worry about it. She explains that she was so now powerful. Once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow her on. She'll follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced herself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out by Miss Dixon like other women talents. Now, see right here, what I just read here, which I read here, and I'm gonna let the AI run this.
With Mr. Dixon and Mr. Aiko at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man that may become very about it. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other.
Can we say or spell me too? Me too? He me too me. He me too me. Now, for all the women that were really taking advantage and were, touched in an inappropriate manner or gotten their, private parts violated by said man or said woman, because women could violate too, that the women that do get really assaulted like this, I'm sorry to say this, because of this lawsuit that's pending, and with the other woman, and I forgot the other woman that also made false charges. And what I mean by false charges, I'm going to show you right now. I'm not going to show you. I'm going to tell you. There was another woman that did the same thing too. Crystal Magnum, where she lied on 3, I think they're Duke lacrosse players, that she was raped by them or touched by them. These are 2 black women. Crystal Magnum, and mind, she didn't get no, I don't think she got no justice, but the allegations hurt these men's credibility, young men at the time, because they're college students. Now you're seeing Joy Terry by the play to Me Too as well, so she can keep her little flimsy job. And I say to that, that's screwed up. That's messed up. Not only is messed up, but it's right now how the climate is right now. There's things and there are maybe laws, legislation right now that could be looked at right now and could be implemented now with this new administration to reevaluate this thing about women creating false accusations. This might be the death toll of Me Too altogether with this false charges if Joy decide to fall through. And right now, me reading this, and this is put out throughout the world to read what Ms. Farr is going to do, or what she is not planning, but what is in her statement in regards to get the lawsuit from Fox. If I'm Joy right now, I would not follow through with Me Too. That's not going to go very well at all. That's not going well at all. Not at all, because this woman, a Caucasian Muslim, already came out and spilled the beans on you and everybody else that not only want to have intercourse with her, but you are out here putting out your pussy out here to all these type of men in your workforce. You have nothing to stand on. Your credibility is tarnished, for lack of better words. 1 second, guys. As I'm doing this, please guys support the channel. You know what to do. Y'all know what to do.
Money.
I told you.
Where is my money?
Betty. Bring me everyone.
I need my money. I need my money.
What do you mean everyone?
All right, let's keep going, guys. Where am I? Oh. Okay. Let's keep going.
September 2022, Ms. Taylor started to work on. Ms. Faraghi is targeted because of her ethnicity. One night, at an informal dinner at Mastro's Steakhouse, she grew. That she would not be okay with someone calling her a black also had Ms. Faraghi report the incident to supposedly being anonymous. Ms. M.
It's skip roofing. So let me read that page 51 or section 51 for y'all. In approximately 2020, Jane Doe, Mrs. M, an employee at Fox, began demonstrating erratic behaviors. One night at an informal dinner at Mastro's Steakhouse, she grew irrational and rage with Mrs. Faraghi. And she screamed, F you, you Persian, beep. So she's Persian. Interesting. The dinner ended after Mrs. M. Brooks and glass Mrs. M broke a glass and threatened to harm herself. Ooh. She was about to commit, and off herself. That's not good. Following the dinner, Miss Pharisee's coworker Anonymous, who is black, reports the incident to Human Resources, explained that she would not be okay with someone calling her a black beep. Anonymous also had Mrs. Pharisee report the incident to Mrs. Perella. Despite these reports, she's not black. She's actually Persian. She's actually white. Because they are Persian, white Persians. I looked at the picture of Miss Pharisee. She is nowhere near black. I don't know where people are still saying she's black. But anyhow.
Of the reports and became increasingly unstable towards Ms. Faraghi. Every single morning, Ms. M would scream and throw things at Ms. Faraghi. Every single morning, Ms. M would scream and throw things at Ms. Faraghi. Life was in danger. Human Resources responded that Ms. Faraghi should just leave the. After approximately a year and a half, Ms. M. boyfriend, a producer at Fox, shared that Human Resources gave Ms. M a large amount of money in severance. Ms. Faraghi wondered why Fox rewarded her bully with money. Apologized to Ms. Faraghi, explaining they did not have experience with mental health issues. Human Resources offered Ms. Faraghi free therapy. Ms. Faraghi declined the free therapy but began to see an independent therapist once a week to discuss her life at Fox. Ms. Faraghi continues to see the same therapist today. Over the years, Mr. Bayless continued to make advances on.
Hold on. Ms. Ferris believes in this one she had the sickness, the cancer, conveying that Mr. Bayless, in an attempt to stop his advance, only have him offer $1.5 million to have sex. See, I don't know why the AI skipped this. This is very important. This is the part where you see right now in articles throughout social media and throughout the web. Now, I notice what a lot of men, content creators especially, have said that they don't believe Skip would give this woman, this single mother, Persian, Caucasoid mother, $1.5 million. I beg the difference. I think I doubt, in confidence, This dude would give this woman 1.5 million. I believe he would do that. I believe he would do that. And the reason why I said I believe he would do that is because, like most men like Skip Bayless or any men that got money like that, let's be honest, they're the biggest tricks. Oh, and a side note for people who don't know, I am going to talk about this thing that I discovered about OnlyFans now, and who's really spending money on OnlyFans personally. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Let me see where I'm at. Hold on. 1 second, guys. So let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Miss Faraghi, example L. Miss Faraghi would always make excuses regarding her son. Anything to keep Mr. Bayless appeased and her job safe. In July 2021, Miss Faraghi developed issues with her left ovary and was advised it could be biopsy scheduled. She explained her situation to would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere, that she has a child, and that she does not want him. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hands, began kissing them, and offered, "Oh, have sex." Miss Faraghi made an excuse.
So he offers again 1.5 million to have intercourse. God damn, Skip. You really want that? Listen. Skip want that Persian pussy, that box. He damn sure is gonna pay for that Persian box by any means necessary. He wants to sit there, scoop up, squeeze up her chest, squeeze her backside, play with her a little bit, and he wants to shoot up all in them guts. I think Skip wanted a Persian child. He want that Persian baby badly from that one. We said, I don't care if you got sick, baby. I'm gonna want these cheeks tonight. What I do, baby? How much money I give you? Give me the box, baby. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. I need it. But I'm begging you. I tell you, man, Skip is something else. All right, let's keep going.
To leave. Mr. Bayless made another advance at Miss Faraghi. Miss S' job is threatened because she does not sleep with Mr. Bayless. Texted.
Now, one thing with Skip, and everybody think this is not really Skip, but I believe it is Skip because this statement he said here on number 57, section 57. Approximately 1 week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance at Miss Faraghi. Miss Faraghi responds, "Skip, stop. You have a wife. You have a wife. You have a wife." Mr. Bayless responds, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 to 4 wives?" Miss Faraghi responds that her father was dead, and when Mr. Bayless looked and taken aback, she made an excuse to leave. Let's continue. Hold on. Oh, damn. Yeah.
Texted Miss Faraghi, "I'm good today." The text meant that he would not be coming in for hair or makeup. On April 13, 2022, Mr. Bales texted Miss Faraghi, "Not comfortable coming down there. Just do what you need to do. It's okay." Miss Faraghi asked him what was wrong. He replied, "Same stuff." Mr. Bayless answered the door, and before Miss Faraghi could speak, or any other talent member or employee but before she could speak, Mr. Bayless.
Wait, there was some details missing. I gotta read that for y'all again. Miss Faraghi, concerned about her own job, walked to Mr. Bayless' fitting room to see if everything was okay. Mr. Bayless answered the door, and before Miss Faraghi could speak, he began to angrily excuse Miss Faraghi of effing Mr. Sharp. Miss Faraghi tries to explain that she did not have any feelings towards Mr. Sharp and had never slept with him or any other talented member or employee at Fox. But before she could speak, Mr. Bayless demand she come to his car after the show. Miss Farragy responded that she could not come sit in his car as it was inappropriate. Miss Bayless grew irate and then left.
Responded that she could not come sit in his car. On April 14, 2022, Mr. Bayless texted Miss Farragy, "If you're distracted tomorrow, I'll wait till Monday. But I can't keep doing this." Miss Farragy told him that she was very confused. Mr. Bayless responded, "Trust me, I'm far more confused." Miss Farragy then. On April 15, 2022, Mr. Bayless texted Miss Farragy, "Do you still want to do the haircut or just move on?" Miss Farragy responded that she doesn't want to move on from her job and that she will. Mr. Bayless called Miss Farragy. Miss Farragy did not answer the call because she was scared. She then called him back 10 minutes later. On the call, Mr. Bayless again. That he could tell from her body language. Him. Miss Farragy tried to explain that she was kind, laughing and engaging in conversation. Miss Farragy then asked if he was yelling at her because she refused to go to his car. Mr. Bayless answered that she should talk to him like that. Miss Farragy replied that she could respond however she wanted. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Farragy responded that even if she had been dating, all because she only—
Wait. It missed some detail. Let's go back. Mr. Farragy replies, then she could respond however she wanted. Mr. Bayless then angrily stated that he heard her talk to Mr. Sharp about her vagina. Mrs. Farragy knew this is to be untrue and was embarrassed and angry. Miss Farragy responded that even if she had been dating Mr. Sharp, which she wasn't, it shouldn't matter at all because she only had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. Oh, smart response. Let's keep listening.
Had a professional relationship with Mr. Bayless. 7, 2022, Ms. Farragy arrived in the makeup room, approximately 12 feet x 30. Bayless. 7, 2022, Ms. Farragy arrived in the makeup room, approximately 12 feet x 30 feet containing 3 makeup and hair sections, turned on a recording device, put it on the table, and waited for Mr. Bayless to arrive. In the meantime, 2 of Ms. Farragy's co-work rooms, adjacent to the makeup room, to listen into the conversation. Mr. Bayless then arrived in the makeup room. Mr. Bayless knew that the makeup room was always recorded. Job over this. Ms. Farragy responded that she wasn't going to lose her job because—
Hold on, and skip again. Let's go back. Mr. Bayless knew that the makeup room was always recorded and clearly states the room is bugged. During their conversation, Mr. Bayless said that he would hate for her to lose her job, but she can't be doing a big thing with my arch rival. She responded by reiterating that being polite to Mr. Sharp is part of her job. Correct. It is part of your job. You must be cordial and polite because you're cutting people's hair and doing the people's hair. You should be as an employee. I agree with her. Mr. Bayless responded, bull it. I'm calling bull it on you. Mr. Bayless then warns that he doesn't want her to lose her job over this. Let's play more of this.
She is a great hairdresser. Mr. Bayless responded, I have love for you, and I have for 6 years, and you hurt me, and you are ruining this. Ms. Farragy again responded that would affect her job. Ms. Farragy responded that she is AM, and if he would like to get his hair done, he is welcome to sit in her chair. Mr. Bayless continued to threaten her job. Ms. Farragy knew that he pressured her into having sex with him, but she kept repeating that she was a professional that had to be. On April 21, 2022, Mr. Bayless asked if Ms. Farragy would come to his home to color his a side job that Ms. Farragy previously would partake in when Mr. Bayless's wife was home. On this occasion, with her therapist's help, she conveyed that she would know. The following week, Mr. Bayless arrived in the makeup room as if their conversations never happened, but Ms. Farragy remained on edge. Ms. Farragy had worsening nightmares regarding the incidents that took place with Mr. Bayless. Ms. Farragy's therapist started to talk through her interactions with Mr. Bayless. Bayless. Ms. Faragee is targeted because of her ethnicity and disability. Ms. Faragee's friendship with Ms. Taylor ended. Insulting Ms. Faragee on a personal and professional level. Could not understand Ms. Faragee's accent, and complaining about Ms. Faragee's humming. Involuntary subconscious coping mechanism for her diagnosed PTSD. Ms. Taylor then. P15. Ms. Faragee and her co-workers, who noticed the harsh interactions, hoped that Fox could see through the facade, as Ms. Faragee had been doing Ms. Taylor's hair for approximately 7 years at Ms. Taylor's own request without any complaint, and had been working. Example, she was hired to do the hairstyles of over 10 black background dancers in CeeLo Green's music. Ms. Faragee's June 1, 2023 diary entry states, "She's been acting like because I'm not black I'm stupid. She keep saying black girls' hair should be done like this, not how you do it. She keep making me fail that my English is not good. Making comments like, oh, white girls are dumb b. On June 14, 2023, Ms. Faragee reported the incidents to Ms. Poridi. Ms. Faragee's June 14. Been 7 days that the company knows about this racism. And
now, one thing, not only she has some audio background, she also wrote a diary. Oh, did y'all know a diary is another form of a confession? Yeah, hold on. You are aware, ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to document your day-to-day activity in a diary, that is a form of confession. You know that, right? That can be used as evidence. For those that don't know. I would highly advise, and this is why the rise of people writing has substantially gone up in the last, I would say, 15 years. No? Unlike most decades, even from the last century going on this century now we are in now, more people have write. So I always advise people should write more. And not I mean writing in text form, like you just text some people your notes on phone. I mean actually physically write. Look into that. Let's continue.
Discrimination towards me. I told my boss Gina. I told Cindy all about it. On June 16, 2023, Ms. Poridi pulled Ms. Faragee into her office and asked if she wanted. Ms. Faragee explained that she wanted to work. Ms. Poridi told Ms. Faragee that she should just leave the room when Ms. Taylor was acting out. Ms. Faragee noticed that this was a pattern. When Ms. M bullied Ms. Faragee, Human Resources told her to leave. Taylor bullied Ms. Faragee, Ms. Poridi again told her to leave the room. Ms. Faragee's June 16, 2023. On June 21, 2023, Ms. Poridi called Ms. Faragee into her office. That while Ms. Faragee should still go in every morning.
Now, one thing, because there's some missing, it says here, Ms. Faragee, June 16, 2023 diary entry states, I'm very disappointed in how Fox operates. Racism and bullying. Instead of getting rid of the bullies, they want to get rid of the victims now. You know why, Ms. Faragee? Because you don't bring money or value to Fox Corporation. Skip Bayless, regardless how weirdo he is, even go as far as paying women like yourself $1.5 million to get access to your box, your Persian box. He brings value to the corporation. You don't. Joy Terra, as much time she has gotten around and slept with God knows who in most of these corporations, she doesn't really bring much value. But they'll keep her anyway. For reasons B, I don't know. But you don't bring the value. They could always find another hairdresser because that's just nothing of any value. That's how you have to look at it. Let's keep going.
And said, up for hair, Ms. Taylor no longer needed her as a hairstylist. Ms. Poridi explained that Ms. Faragee was to work from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and G asked about touch-ups. Ms. Poridi stated that she had spoken to all talent on the show, and no one needed touch-ups. Ms. Faragee then asked if she did something wrong. Ms. Poridi responded, you remind me of my dog, and when I take my dog out, Ibar cried. To call someone a dog is one of the most offensive insults in the Persian culture. P16. Ms. Poridi.
Oh, really? Well, she called you an animal. Interesting. Very interesting. That's something to look at. In fact, let me see right here. Let me check. Let's check it some, guys. 1 second. The call to my dog is very offensive in Persian. Yeah. Hold on. Let me do this. All right. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. I'm just doing something quickly before I continue. All right. I'm gonna continue playing it now. So let's continue on with this audio. Where am I? All right. Let's go.
Hired 2 new black hairstylists to work from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as Miss Taylor is very picky with her hair. She did not like the work of the 2 new black hairstylists and, who is a Latina woman, to do her hair 5 days a week. The third time they asked her, Ms. Faraji explained that because talent had indicated that they do not need touch-ups, she was no longer available for touch-ups. They were shocked and said that they needed touch-ups. Ms. Poridi, she explained that there must have. Ms. Faraji informed employee relations. Ms. Faraji became concerned for her job as this was a common tactic employed by Fox. When retaliating against a witness or target, Fox systematically reduces work schedules and ultimately terminates employment by removing an individual from the schedule and accused of having sex with Mr. Bayless. Relations asked Ms. Faraji for a meeting. At the meeting, Ms. Drucker asked if Ms. Taylor was having a sexual relationship with Mr. Ego. Ms. Faraji admitted that the two were in a sexual relationship. Ms. Information because she didn't think it was a big deal. Example Ms. Taylor and Mr. Ego.
Wait. Miss Drucker asked if Miss Taylor was having sexual relation with Mr. Aiko. Yes. All right. She's now confessing with the president to know what's going on. So he gets to scoop what really going on behind closed doors. Let's listen to this.
Aiko had similar amounts of power at this time, and because she didn't think Ms. Taylor or Mr. Aiko would physically get Ms. Faraji for a meeting. At the meeting, Ms. Doe told Ms. Faraji that there had been complaints of her humming. Ms. Faraji explained that her humming is an involuntary subconscious coping mechanism for her. Everyone at Fox knew she hummed. Ms. Faraji further explained that she has been humming since she was a child, has been humming her entire tenure at Fox. Her humming was exacerbated in stressful situations, and talk she hates it and wants it to stop. She does not even P17 realize when she is humming. Ms. Faraji further explained that if anyone was now complaining they were only doing so to her and embarrass her. Ms. Doe thanked Ms. Faraji for the information, abruptly changed the conversation, and quickly asked whether she had made public comments regarding Mr. Dixon and Ms. Taylor having sex. Ms. Faraji became very scared, as Mr. Dixon had previously assaulted her that he would fire her if she said anything, and responded that while everyone in the company knew about their relationship, she did not have any information and did not want to comment about it. Ms. E conversation and asked if Ms. Faraji had any questions. Ms. Faraji then began crying, asking why such a swift investigation took place regarding her humming, but no one cared about Ms. M threatening to kill her or others mocking her English. Ms. Faraji she wants is a safe normal work environment, but everyone mistreats her because there are no consequences for them. While she focused on others mocking her English, she was thinking of her interactions with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Bayless. On August 3, 2023, Ms. Poridi told approximately as she had a pending case with Human Resources. Ms. Faraji was confused as, from her perspective, she did not Have a pending case with Human Resources. Employee Relations had only called her in to answer questions regarding Ms. Taylor. On August 9, 2023, Ms. Poriti told Ms. Faraghi that her services were officially no. Ms. Faraghi's diary entry for that day states, "After I reported that they took me off the show, this must be illegal." President of Human Resources and Business Operations, and Ms. Drucker asked Mr. Bayless for a meeting. When Mr. Bayless arrived, Ms. Beauvais and Ms. Drucker told Mr. Bayless not to worry and start interrogating him on whether he had a romantic relationship with Ms. Faraghi and whether she had offered him sex. When Mr. Bayless responded truthfully, him not to worry and that his job was safe, implying that they wanted him to say otherwise. This circular conversation took place for approximately 20 minutes. Following the meeting, Mr. Dixon called Mr. Bayless and asked why he P18. Bayless responded that he cares about Ms. Faraghi. Mr. Dixon responded, "Who? The investigation is indicative of the role of Human Resources and Employee Relations as a protector of abusers and wrongdoers. Inexplicably, Fox has allowed Human Resources and Employee, after he turned a blind eye to various allegations, noticed that he was at Fox early in the morning. Ms. Faraghi asked him why he was in so early and he, power to do it, has made me a producer. Ms. Faraghi asked, that's all you need, a powerful man? You responded, yes, that's correct Nushin. Subsequently, Mr. Bayless pulled Ms. Faraghi. During this conversation,
now this one, Section 82, Ms. Faraghi learns that Mr. Dixon wanted her fired. And I think the reason why he wants her gone because she's not playing the game. She's not getting down, being, having intercourse with the people within Fox. So, next best thing they do is say, all right, well, since you want to play ball, we'll just get rid of you. Keep it simple. Keep pushing, no problem. Let's listen more.
Mr. Bayless apologized for accusing her of having Gently, Mr. Bayless pulled Ms. Faraghi. During this conversation, Mr. Bayless apologized for accusing her of having that Mr. Dixon wants Ms. Faraghi fired because Mr. Bayless asked Ms. Faraghi out to dinner to continue the conversation, but Ms. Faraghi declined. On October 18, 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraghi that Mr. Dixon was push him to ask for a different hairstylist, but Mr. Bayless refused. States, I feel desperate, I don't know how to save my job, Charlie is the big boss and I'm just a hairstylist with no power. Skip said that joy. On October 20th, 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraghi that Mr. Dixon had threatened his job because he continuously requested Ms. Faraghi, stating that he would rather have another pretty girl on P19. On December 21st, 2023, Mr. Bayless told Ms. Faraghi that he still loved her and confided that Mr. Dixon was the one who had told him that Ms. Faraghi was sleeping with. Bayless then again tried to have sex with Ms. Faraghi. Ms. Faraghi's diary entry for that day states, I said, Skip, I'm only interested in working with you and having friendship relationship with you and nothing else. He said you have no idea you are low. Sing everything, I don't know what he means by that and I off the show, it makes me sick to my stomach, and Fox is supporting people like Charlie and Skip. Ms. Faraghi lets it be known she will support a co-worker. On December 17, 2023, one of Ms. Faraghi's co-workers was indefinitely taken off. Ms. Faraghi made it known amongst the department that, if Ms. Faraghi reached out to Ms. Drucker and asked if she should get an attorney. Ms. Drucker responded that she does.
Well, before I read that, I'm going back to 87 because there's certain things missed. It skip a whole lot. So let me read this. Over the next few months, Mr. Faraghi made it known amongst the department that if needed, she would speak out of her co-workers' behalf. Mrs. Perel responded, if it is so hard for you here, why don't you quit? Ms. Perel also later comment, I don't regret anything I did to coworkers or different coworkers. This was especially cruel as she knew one of the co-workers has tried to commit deletion. Let's read this. Let's let the thing continue playing and hear more.
Not need an attorney. Internally anxious that Mr. Dixon was trying to get her fired. Ms. Faraghi gave Mr. Bayless a haircut. During the haircut, told her about a new opportunity he was expecting outside of Fox. Ms. Faraghi asked if fantasizes about having sex with her and asked how much money it would take for her to. Ms. Faraghi stated that she already refused $1.50 million. The more you say no, the more I want you. P20 was canceled. Mr.
So I'm going to say this, and I'm going to have to agree. Screw what anybody else is saying. Skip wanted your box. He's going to cough up that money, that moolah, in 1.5 million. And right now, if he's making 32 million for a contract of a few years, that's buckets to Skip Bayless. And mind you, Skip doesn't pay random women. $1.5 million. He just don't do that. I think only a few women that are exceptional will get that money out of the way. But I don't see him really, coughing up that much money. All right, let's keep going. Where was I? Let me make this smaller. I know this is long, guys, and I'm only using this tool to go through it. I'll read certain sections that is missing, and after point, I'm probably gonna read the rest of this because I don't like it skipping. But bear with it. Let's keep going. Let's go. Let's go.
Bayless was fired, and Ms. Faraghi. Ms. Poridi told Ms. Faraghi that there was no longer a need for her. That same. Walk him to his car on his way out. Ms. Faraghi felt that she had no choice but to walk him to his car. Once at his car, they noticed Mr. Dixon in the parking lot looking at Charlie. If you want to sue them, go for it. Going to sleep tonight. He's scared of what I'm going to tell you. That same day, Ms. Faraghi reached out to for over 1 year. And Talent continued to request her, but said they would investigate the issue. On August 5, 2024, Ms. Faraghi was asked to give Mr. Silverman a haircut, in the same manner she had been doing so for over the past 7 years. Ms. Faraghi then reached out to Fox to ask what she should do, as she did not want to let Mr. Silverman down. The substantive response but said they are continuing to investigate the issue. Investigation, Fox was finally able to muster the following pretextual reason for firing Ms. Faraghi. They can only afford to have one hairdresser work from the schedule entirely, using fabricated business. Implemented the revised schedule, assigning a single hairdresser to cover all 3 shows for approximately 3 months. Once Fox believed it had actions from a legal standpoint, they reverted to their long-standing scheduling arrangement, which included one hair and makeup, and another set in the same arrangement that had been in place for years during Ms. Fa. 4 weeks after being terminated, Ms. Faraghi remained conflicted as to her next steps. P21. She remained quiet about her experiences at Fox as she hire someone to kill her should she go public. After many therapy sessions, Ms. Faraghi has concluded that she never wants to work with Mr. Bayless again, feels ashamed for working with him for so many years, and control intrusive thoughts of Mr. Dixon hurting her again. At this point, Ms. Faraghi seeks justice. She knows that Mr. Dixon used power to coerce women into having sex with him and used it as justification to grope Ms. Faraghi. She knows that Mr. Dixon did not immediately fire her, after Ms. Taylor and Ms. Faraghi had a falling out. him with a plaything. Despite Miss Faragee being an excellent hairdresser and continuously being requested by talent, she was shrunken down to how much she could. And once Mr. Bayless was gone, so was her job. To date, talent continues to ask for Ms. Faragee at Fox. Faragee's departure from Fox, Mr. Bayless began featuring his wife on his podcast. On Information and Belief, he changed years, presumably in the hopes of removing and deleting incriminating messages. Receiving notice of this impending lawsuit from Fox. Administrative remedies pursuant to the California Fair Employment and Housing Act, FEHA, for those causes of action in this complaint for which he filed a timely administrative complaint with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, DFEH. DFEH case no raised by the FEHA causes of action in this complaint and received the right P22. Plaintiff brings forth this class action on behalf of herself and all others similarly. Plaintiff seeks to represent a class defined as follows. In California during the period commencing 4 years prior to the filing of this. Plaintiff further seeks to represent the following subclasses composed of and defined as all class members who were not compensated for all our.
Oh, for those that's not understanding, they're reading the class action allegations. I'm letting it go and play through and get to some better stuff. So bear with it. Let's go.
Worked at the applicable minimum wage. All class members who were not compensated. All class members who were not reimbursed for. All class members who, within the applicable, did not timely receive wages that were due and owed upon. All class members who, within the applicable limitations period, were
It stopped? Why did it stop? Let's see what's going on.
not provided with accurate itemized wage statements. All class members who are owed restitution as a result of Fox's unlawful, deceptive, and / or unfair business acts and / or practices. Plaintiff reserves her right under California Rules of Court 3.765 to later amend, modify, or divide the class and / or subclass descriptions. Plaintiff is informed and believes that the members of the class and subclasses are so numerous that joinder of all members is impractical. While the precise number of members of the class and subclasses has not been determined at this time, plaintiff is members for each subclass. The number of members of the class and subclasses will be P23. 23 plaintiff's claims are typical of the claims of the members of the class and who was A. not paid for all hours worked, B. not paid all overtime wages at her regular rate of pay, C. was not, D. was not timely paid all wages that were due and owed upon separation, and E. was not provided with accurate itemized wage statements. Plaintiff seeks recovery for the same by other members of the class and subclasses. Plaintiff will fairly and adequately represent the interests of the class and subclasses.
All right. I think this is going into more legal jargon. I'm not gonna read the rest of the last 20 pages because this is legal jargon, which I could probably understand by the outline, but let's look at some of the things that caught my attention. And for those that want to come up, the link is in the chat room. After I go through this, I think I'll call this a day. Let's look. Try and find a. All right. Before I look at it, Let's look. Anybody's in there? Okay, good. All right, good. The one thing that kept my attention was 7 case of action: sexual battery against defendant Fox, Mr. Dixon, and Mr. Bayless. Ms. Fraji realigned and incorporate each of her paragraphs of the complaint as thoughtfully set forth herein. Sexual battery is a statutory tort, and statute provides the relevant part that a person commits sexual battery if he or she acts with the intent to cause a harmful or offense contact with the inmate part of another, and sexual offense contact with that person directly or indirectly results in the Cal CV code 708.5. The statute defines emitting part as a sexual organ, anus, growing, buttocks, or any personal or breast of a female. In terms of offense, contact means contact that offends reasonable sense of personal dignity. Her, as discussed, Sapar, Mrs. Fry, was subject to offense contact by Mr. Dixon and Mr. Bayless. Fox is liable under response superior theory because its employees, Mr. Dixon and Mr. Bayless, require its employees appeal talent, and when it employees are disliked by talent, they are Bayless require it and employee appeals talent, and when it employees are disliked by talent, they are fired. The rules of response are superior and familiar and simply states an employer is vigorously liable for the tort of its employee committed within the scope of the employment. Haresline and Kaiser found Haas 123 or 132 Cal Apar, and there's 45 blah 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 quota of citation on from more the modern justification of response superior to deliberate policies allocation of risk that as employee liability extend beyond the actual possibilities control over the employee and including risk inherent of the creation of the enterprise, risk of inheritance and then created by an enterprise, blah 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 blah, going down. And it says here on the 14th of 2007, Mr. Dixon placed his arm to Miss Faraji's lower back. He asked her how she was doing, and that's a form of raping, you know. Okay. And going down more, he then began to kiss her in her neck. Yeah, that's inappropriate. Uncomfortable with his contact and leaving after. Yeah. As a direct, forcible, and proximal result, defendant unlawful action are described above. Miss Fry has suffered a continuous losing of earnings, except when she's losing money and fear damage, all that stuff. Yeah. And there's one hostile work environment, sex, gender against defendant, Ms. Dixon and Mr. Bayless. Not reading that. Let's go down. Against Fox, Ms. Bayless, Ms. Oh, this one here. Hostile work environment, race, national origins. This is from Mr. Bayless and Mrs. Taylor. Joy Taylor. Miss Fry alleged to incorporate each of every paragraph of the complaint as though fully set forth herein. FEHA prohibits harassment or discrimination of the basis of race and national governance. This is the government code 12940. To establish a cause of action for racial hostility, work environment, and plaintiff must show that 1, she was a member of a protected class, which she is. 2, she was subject to unwelcome harassment, which she was. 3, the harassment was based on her being a member of a protected class. 4, the harassment unreasonable interferes with her work performance by creating an intimate, hostile, and offensive work environment. And 5, the company responsible, Thompson versus City of Monrovia, 186 Cali, apartment 4th, 860-876 in 2010. Ms. Farah is a member of a protected class based on her race, her national origins, Iran. So she's Iranian, Persian of class, and was subject to unwelcome harassment based on her race and origin, natural origin. The harassment unreasonable interferes with her work performance by creating intimate, hostile, and offensive work environment. Mr. Bayless and others offensively stereotypes her based on her race and her national origins. Mrs. M swore and threw things at her based on her race and national origin. Mrs. Taylor and other consistently ridiculed Miss Farah English proficiency based on her race, national origin. 4. Mrs. Taylor and other question her job performance based on her race and her national origins, using that as an excuse to take her off the show. 156. Fox is strictly liable for her supervisor, action, State Department, Health Service, etc. Fox is also liable for her co-workers' action, which well known as ignored. Employees liable for harassment for unsupervised employees. Only the employer knew that she is known for harassing conduct and failed to take immediate approach correct action. Furthermore, an employee who engaged in harassment conduct against employees and personal liability for harassment as direct force result in defending unlawful actions as described above. Ms. Fry has suffered and continued to suffer loss in earning, loss in other employee benefits, losing to other financial aspects. Furthermore, she has suffered and continued to suffer emotional distress, shame, embarrassment, and fear, all her damage and her amount of the proof that all the time of trial. As such as entitled and equitable damage, compensatory damage, emotional damage, and attorney fees and costs. In addition, as defendants' actions were not merely neglect and instead were arrogance, stem from malice and reckless indifference to misfraud and right safety of she entitled of punitive damage. Another one, 10th case, hostile work environment, disability against defendant Mrs. Fox and Mrs. Taylor. I'm gonna scan through this. All right. Y'all can read that on your own times. And then she blamed Fox for not doing nothing about the harassment. Fox again. Retaliation. More on Fox violation. Prayer for relief. Okay. This is January 3rd, 2020. So this is like during the weekend, Friday. All this happened on a Friday. Imagine that. Wow. All right. That's pretty much it, guys. What is need to say? And wrapping this up, I'll say this. And I'll say this again. Because the title speaks for itself. Joy Taylor. And is it wrong to sleep your way to the top? The answer to this question is no. No. Nothing's wrong for you as a woman, hopefully a heterosexual woman, to use what you got, your box, your pussy, to rise to the top of the corporate ladder. Hell, Susie did it. Mara did it. Miss Cartwright did it. Kelly did it. Your black ass could do it, Miss Joy Taylor. The only downside is you're black. You do it, you're not gonna have that same effect. Regardless, you're gonna try to use Me Too to get a nice little severance pay. And good luck to that if you're able to, because let's be honest, Fox is already gonna pay this nice little Persian Iranian woman, single mother, a whole lot of money, which she might not going to keep around much, because we all know you ladies not good with money anyway. The minute you get a couple $1,000,000, you're going to spend it. Case in point, there are many celebrity women and regular women that get big settlements. We don't know what happened to money after 4 or 5 years. The money's gone. For cases, we don't want to go into why it's gone. But at the end of the day, I just got to be honest. You ladies not good with money. So obviously, you got to do what you have to do to survive in the corporate environment, which is run by men. And it's still going to be run by men. So Miss Joy Taylor, is it good or bad? I will say it is good for a lot of women today, which they're going to continue to do anyway, regardless where the status of Me Too is going to go. I think Me Too is going to be abolished. It's going to be probably abolished now this year coming. Because now they're looking at the paperwork of a lot of these so-called big executives, big corporate men, celebrities, and regular men that make six figures or whatever. They're going to have to step in and say, you know what? You ladies not going to make more money off these men because some happened to 5, 10, or even 20 years ago. That stops now. And if it stops today, you know who killed it? Black women. And it's fitting because they created. So why not? It would end under their own pretense, their own accords. They're the ones that created, and it's going to end by their hands alone. So, Me Too's finished, and it's going to be finished really soon. And if you're a woman, and if you're still playing the game to get to the top and trying to use your box and your looks for the longevity of things and not seeking an actual husband instead of, locking down some of these men that are doing very well, you're stupid. You're a big dummy. Matter of fact, do I got that? I think I got that. I'm gonna find it. Hold on. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. I just now think of something. I don't have it. If I do have it, I'll use that as future soundbite. Anyhow, thank y'all for participating in today's stream. I'm looking forward to hearing y'all thoughts in the comment section of this video. If you made it this far, the links to follow me are below. And I forgot to tell you, just a reminder. I do apologize. I really do apologize. Where is it? Oh. I don't have it here. Surprisingly, if I did, I'll fix that now. The links to follow me are above. And hold on, let me find it. Link, okay. Okay, I can't forget this. Where is it? There's my Discord. Follow me on Discord. The links in the chat room, also in the description below. The links to follow me are the above, or in the description. Follow me on Twitter at ChaosMarine7. Also, become a friend on Facebook, Eric Rain on Facebook. Also, follow me. I mean, follow me. Follow me on Rumble as well. I'm on Rumble, guys, so don't be misconception. Please follow me on Rumble. And let me. All right, I update the thing, so we should be good. Follow me on Rumble. And last but not least, become a member of the Chaos Marine Show as well. That link's in the description as well. And like I said, membership is perks, so please become a member of the Chaos Marine Show as well. I surely do appreciate it. That's it. All right, thank you again for coming to the stream. Until next time, and I mean next time, the Chaos Marine.
Rebuke, I 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 rebuke.
Okay, you can rebuke it all, but it's a very practical process with 49% of the population. And relationships are reflective. You reflect and draw the kind of men that you reflect, you draw what you are. So if your interactions are chaotic with men,
I rebuke.
About your rebuking. Clock counts for everybody.